There's no value in advocating an important message like this without recognizing how is this going to benefit the individual farmer, but also the farming community in a region, in a country, and for that matter in the world. And where does economic benefits start in farming? It starts with the marketability of product, and marketability entails both quantity and quality. In the end, it boils down to what can be produced on the available land.
My name is Simon Beatty. I'm working for a company called Unifruti Fontaine, and we've been developing table grapes and citrus here in the Sandveld. The challenges in the Sandveld are immense, actually. There's lots of water. Surprisingly enough, although the rainfall is very low, it's only about 200 to 250 mils per annum. But there's a lot of water underneath the sand. So the water has always been there. It's just what can we grow with that water? But having said that, the climate is quite extreme. So there's a huge variation in temperatures. The sand is also a huge challenge. And when we did the initial soil analysis of the sand, there was very little to no carbon in the sand. And we were looking for a product that would add carbon to the sand. Obviously to also help stimulate the microbial life in the sand, but also to act as a reservoir and a means by which the fertilizer that we're applying would be more readily available to the plant. Why did we choose Carbotech? The reason mainly is because I trialed a lot of alternative products. Very few of them I found were 100% water soluble. Carbotech is water soluble 100%. And what I found is certainly if you're applying it through drip, you get very good results, very even distribution of the product throughout your dripper blocks.
Ek is Herman van Zyl van Jesuwer boerdery op die plaas La Rochelle. Ons boer hoofsaaklik hier met citrus. Ons gebruik hierso dripbesproeiing en ons gebruik omtrent die afgelope 8-9 jaar al koolstofverrykende kunsmis, die produk Carbotech. En ons sit dit saam met ons besproeiing, saam met ons kunsmisderivate en ons kry baie goeie resultate. Ons kan sien dat ons bome se kleur is baie mooier in die verlede. Dit is maar baie kleigronde en skalies, so 'n boom wys baie vinnig sy tekorte. En ons kan sien ons grondlewe verbeter geweldig baie. Die gronde is baie donkerder, die grondlewe is soveel beter. Jy sien sommer die aardwurms. Die vrugte het 'n baie mooi vorm. Hy het 'n mooi goeie skil, goeie dik skil. Die skil maklik af. Goeie suikers, hoë sure, so hy gaan 'n goeie rakleeftyd hê. So die vrug kan hou tot in die mark. Ek dink dis nie net die Carbotech, maar dis 'n kombinasie van goed wat ons doen, wat ons probeer en dit werk vir ons.
This is our Cereria florida, or more commonly known as blushing bride flower, which is a core product on our farm. 12 months ago we decided to introduce two products. One is a Carbotech, which we used as a soil drench. The other one was a 1010 product, which we use as a foliar spray. The reasons for using these two products, the Carbotech was more to combine the carbon with some of the biological practices which we use on the farm to boost the soil, and just to give lots of food and to support the network of microorganisms, micro and macroorganisms in the soil to really boost the soil. The reason for using the 1010 is that this flower, or this variety of protea flower in general, is not known for longer length. It's generally a short length variety, and as you can see from behind me, for the first time we have stems that are 60-70 centimeter up to 90 centimeters in average length, which is quite remarkable. We normally average on a 40 and 50 centimeter flower, and for us to be able to offer a longer length flower of this variety is a huge advantage from a marketing perspective.
Hi, my name is William Koopman. I farm in the Craddock district on the farm Rooiberg. I'm third generation on this farm. We farm predominantly maize, lucerne, goats and sheep. Moving to a biological approach, or more biological approach, because it's going to be more sustainable in the long term. Through the guidance of CFT this year, we've done a lot of leaf sap analysis weekly on our maize. It was very helpful to monitor the plant every week and to see how far it was according to the norms. They have norms for the maize plant every week, and we could see after applying fertilizers, after applying micros, where we were on our leaf samples and how the plant reacted. It was very interesting.
Die voordele wat ek sien met die verandering van chemies na biologies is dat ons definitief 'n beter kleur op ons bome kry en dat ons bome meer gesond is. Tesame daarmee is die wortelontwikkeling baie goed en ons vind dat ons 'n beter produk op die mark kan lewer.
Another benefit of biological farming is that I have totally removed the insecticide use on my maize crop through a combination of using BT maize and a biological approach whereby my plants are balanced and they're looking after themselves. I've reduced the incidence of insect attack.
So I'm standing here in a profile hole that we've dug. Excuse the burn on the leaves, but that's just frost damage. After applying Carbotech for about 4 years now, our carbon content has moved up to about 0.5, which doesn't sound great for somebody who's farming with carbon contents of 2 and 3%, but for us it's a significant improvement. And obviously we're applying it through the drip, so this specific site which we've chosen here is under the dripper. Okay, and as you can see from this site here is that the roots are concentrated very much within this dripper zone. If you see here, it's actually very difficult for me to push my finger in here. The root mass is very, very dense. Whereas anywhere outside here, you can see it's very easy. There's no roots. So the roots are very much congregated here under the dripper. And what's also interesting is that if you look at the color here on the surface, you'll see how dark it is relative to the rest of the sand. Now that's what the color of the sand is if you don't, or before we actually applied the Carbotech product. So as I said before, it's really helping us to get water retention, also mineral retention, and it's just a food source for our microorganisms.
The production of lucerne in this area is mainly for dairy farmers. The lucerne itself gets cut at about, if you look here, about just over knee height. It's just before the regrowth starts on the next cycle of lucerne. This is already going for its 6th cutting for the season. What we look at and what Carbotech has helped with is protein. That's the most important. Well, dairy farmers, number one, they grade lucerne in protein. They grade it with NDF's, natural dietary fibers. And us as lucerne farmers try and produce the optimal feed for cattle. As far as Carbotech itself that we've used, I think the biggest benefit I'm going to get is longevity of cuttings. I'm on a 21-day cycle, but I've gone up to 18 days, so it's 3 days quicker, and that's helped quite a lot. And we are looking possibly at a 7th cutting in the Cradock district, although we've had a much warmer year.
Hello, I'm Grant de Preur from the Eastern Cape Potensie. We farm citrus and vegetables on a family farm. It's me and my dad, Ein. We've been using Carbotech for the last 8 to 10 years. It's been a valuable attachment to our business. It's made farming easier for us. It is cost effective. Lower volumes per hectare on the citrus. We've seen improved root growth, thicker branches, younger trees. It looks like they are growing faster. And the bigger and older trees it looks like they are more constant. We've got definitely higher yields than in the past. So it's been a valuable attachment.
Last year on this soil, I only had 1 earthworm per spadeful. This year, I've got up to between 18 and 28 earthworms per spadeful. And as Graham Sate once said to me, that's when you hit pay dirt.
We've always viewed the biological approach for its long-term benefits. And what has surprised us this year, we used 2 CFT products. One is the Carbotech as a soil drench application, and then the 1010 is a foliar spray on our watermelon crop, which is obviously a cash crop and very much different to the rest of the farm. And we are completely very surprised about the short-term benefits. Not only do we really have good growth and really healthy looking plants, but our crop looks to be about 20 to 30% higher than previous years. And the number of watermelons per plant has really surprised me. As you can see, I've got 4 watermelons right next to each other which come off one plant, and normally we average 2, if we're very lucky 3. So we've been very surprised about what short-term benefits you can actually get out of a biological approach.
And this whole thing of a chemical, biological and structural balance which must be achieved in the soil is the foundation of that economic well-being of, in this case, of the farmer, but also of CFT. And one can think broader than this, of the agricultural community in the world.